Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Draws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial, and for this video guys we're gonna be drawing Simisear. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how it ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw it, then let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now on screen, that way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that we're gonna start off by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are gonna do your final drawing, so remember to do your lines light. Alright, just like other tutorials, we're gonna start off by doing a circle. Once we have that, we're gonna split it in half both ways, and once again guys, try to make it as perfect as you can, and by no means is mine perfect, but it's close to it guys, so it will work. And once again, just try to get these lines right in the middle as well. You guys can use a ruler. I use a spare piece of paper right here. I'm just going for it, so yeah. And we're just gonna extend one of the lines right here just to make it more of an oval shape. The same thing down here. So this one actually is gonna be extended a little bit further guys. It's gonna start around there, so the right side is gonna be a little bit longer, and we're just trying to get this like oval shape, right? And there we go guys. And remember to pause the video at your own pace, that way you guys can follow the tutorial. Alright, so here I'm using a spare piece of paper, measuring the length of the actual circle guys. I'm doing a straight line, measuring where the circle is. Now measuring half of the circle, so we're gonna extend that line another half circle, so it's a circle and a half guys, and then a little bit more, just a little bit more, not quite half of a circle but close to it. Alright, so around half of that from the circle guys to that circle marker right there, we're gonna do a line, and just on top of that we're actually gonna do a circle. This is gonna be the stomach, and I believe I do change it in just a little bit. I might work with it. It's just a matter of like getting the perfect circle. It's easier to know where you're gonna start, you know, where the circle starts and where the circle ends. And once you have that, you can just make the shape, right? But yeah, so I marked down the HC is half a circle, the C is a circle, so just so you guys get a better understanding. Alright, so now I'm doing a reference line right here on top of the actual head guys, because that's what the circle is. And this reference line is just gonna help us know how you know, how high to do the ears, and the ears are roughly a little bit shorter than the length of the circle. So just to give you guys an idea. Now this one over here, just doing usually I do like a reference line. For some reason I didn't, but just try to get the top of the ear where it starts connected to the head and the bottom at the same level as the other ear. And this one's gonna be a little bit smaller guys, just because it is kind of like, you know, a little bit behind them. And then we're just gonna do these lines right there. Obviously the one on the right side is kind of like more, you know, even, and then we're gonna split that circle right there for the body in half. And then around here guys, we're gonna do this part right here, and I do change this later on because I wasn't happy with it. It has to be more curved, and I do work on that later on. But here's another one. So that's supposed to be like an oval shape, and if you guys look at it, it does not look like an oval shape, so I do change that. Alright, so now like basically on the side of the head right there guys, we're gonna do this arm. That's what I was showing you guys. This one actually goes a little bit further, and just try to make these the same, roughly the same thickness, and it should get a little bit thinner, or actually it doesn't really matter, but now the same length right there going that way, basically what I'm trying to point out. So from the elbow to the armpit is the same length as from the elbow to the tip of the hand, if that makes any sense. And then we're gonna do these two shapes right there. Once again, try to make both hands the same size. We're gonna split those shapes in the middle. Once we have that guys, we're gonna do one of the thumbs, which goes around there, and then you could actually go ahead and do the fingers. So just try to do all the fingers the same size, and that includes in the other arm. And just make sure that they all line up right there. It might take you guys a couple tries, but I actually got it in the first one. And now we do that line just to show off where this thumb's gonna go. And once again, try to do these fingers the same thickness, same length as the ones on the left hand. So there we go. This one's a little bit more curved. And once again, just try to make them all fit. And just connect that one. I do change the hand there a little bit because it didn't work properly with that finger, so you know, it just took a matter of just changing it. Whatever changes you guys could do to your drawing to make yours work or make it look better, then go for it, guys. Alright, so now that we have that, we're gonna start by doing one of the legs right here. So it goes down to that half circle right there, and we could just connect it to that. Now for this one on this side, it actually starts around there. And just try to do both of the legs, guys, the same thickness. That's what I did right there. It was going to turn out way too... it was going to be thinner than the other one, so that's why I erased it and I extended it a little bit. Alright, so now for the foot right here, guys. I was trying something there, and I believe I do erase it because I didn't like how it was going to come out. It wasn't going to work. So I just changed it up where I started doing actually the right side. And once we have that, we could just connect it to the top right there. And then we could do one of the toes, and then the other one, and then the third one. So there we go, guys. It's just a matter of trying different ways, right? So then I do the same thing on this side, where instead of doing the right side first, I do the left side. I get the shape right there, and then that way I could just do this like oval shape for the toes. But for this one, I just decided just to have the toes, and I just try to do these the same size on either leg and either foot. That's probably one of those areas that might give you guys a hard time, so if you guys have some issues, just keep trying, guys. You guys could always come back to the feet if you guys are not able to get it. Alright, so now for the top right here, guys, we're gonna get this loop right there. That's why I use those lines going across the circle. Now for this eye right here, and then he is giving this like I don't know what kind of expression that would be, kind of like a worried expression. And I do some reference lines going on the bottom of the eye and on top, just so it could help me do this other eye right there. So basically line it up and also make them the same size, right? And now for the pupils right there, so I just changed that one. I thought that one was a little bit too big compared to the one on the left side, so I did change it, and I think it would have, if I would have left it, would have been fine. Alright, so now right here for the mouth where it splits, for the face, do it around there. Just shade them in, that way you guys get better look at it. And I do mess up on the eyes, guys, towards the end. Once I color it, I kind of mess up the eyes. It looks a little bit more I don't know, but I do change it. So the nose goes around there, guys. Now for the mouth, if you notice, the mouth doesn't go further to the left of the circle. It stays within that, you know, boundary. Now for this right here, part of the hair, now we're gonna actually go and start on the one on the right side, and around the top of the, you know, the front fire flame, whatever it might be, that's where it goes up. And I did a reference line right there just to show you guys that the points on the left part of the hair and the right one kind of line up, so it's a good reference. Alright, so now for the ears, guys, the inside of the ears, just try to get on either side of the inner ear the same thickness. So the yellow part to the outside of the ear should be the same thickness as I point out right there. So the same thing for this ear. So try to get it right there, the same thickness as I'm pointing out right there. And then we could just do that, right? And then we could just connect it right there. Obviously on this side, the edge of the face connects, so we don't need to do that. Alright, so now around right here, guys, we're going to do the collar. And it's basically like this little cloud, upside down cloud. At least that's what it looks like. So it is going to cover the arm right there. Now on this side, starts around there, and once again, just try to make them the same shape, same size, kind of like the half circles, the little bumps. And if you guys notice, it doesn't go below, or it does go below the circle right there that we did at the bottom, but it doesn't go too low. And right here, guys, under that middle line, we're gonna do a reference line that's gonna help us do the bottom right there shape right here, these triangle or these spikes, I don't know what you would call them. We could fit 3 inside of the circle, and then this 4th one goes outside. We could erase that reference line, Alright, so now around here we're gonna start by doing the tail, guys. Curves around there. Goes around here. I believe I do change that part of the tail later on, once I didn't like how it lined up. So right here it should line up to basically the middle right there, the line going down. And I go over the leg just so I can know that it's gonna line up on the other side properly. But I believe I do change, I curve that like middle part of the tail later on. It's too thin, you know, it's kind of like too thin. So once we have that, guys, I go over the sketch and I just erase all those reference lines, all those sketch lines that we did earlier, you know, the circle and the lines going across the circle and whatnot. So I recommend looking at the reference, that way you guys can see what lines to erase and what lines to keep. I know it tends to get a little bit messy with so many, but that's why I erase them. So right there in the hair, you know, there's no line connecting it to the head. Right here inside of the collar right there, we can't see the arm, the armpit, the shoulder, so I do erase that. Now the same thing right here for the top part of right there. Erase these lines. Erase that part of the circle right there that shouldn't be there. And this is where you guys can see that the left side of the bottom right there, it's like almost ending at a point on the left side. So that's where I mentioned before that I do go back and I change that. So now that I erased most of these reference lines, I forgot right there on the actual fingers. Obviously I do go back, guys, and I fix some of the lines, you know, and this is where I would make any changes. If something doesn't look right, now is the time where I would notice it and I would make those changes. But right here I'm just going over the lines that are supposed to be there. That way, you know, it's a little bit more, you know, just outline the gas. And I'm also, since I'm doing this, I'm going over these lines that I accidentally erased. I'm also paying attention, guys, to the reference and noticing any things that doesn't that look different, right? And this is where I believe I changed the left side of them right there. And I also changed the flame as I'm getting closer to it. I'm kind of like, you know, looking at the reference, looking at my sketch, looking at the reference, looking at my sketch. And that's where I noticed that this part was just really weird shape. And I believe I do change it a little bit more. Like, it's supposed to be like an oval shape, guys. So if you guys look at it, it's kind of like an oval shape. So I do change it. I wasn't just happy, so I was like, okay, let me try to follow this oval shape, and I get it right there. Even though it's still not the greatest, but it looks way better than it did before. Before it looked oddly shaped. So I do change that right there, and now it looks a little bit better, guys. I actually did a good job right there. I'm happy with that. And I'm, like I mentioned before, also work on the tail. So that's why you see these pauses. You see these pauses. Obviously I have the video sped up, but you see these pauses because I'm looking at the reference, guys, and I'm looking at my sketch. Like right now I'm just going over it, and I was like, okay, maybe I could change this, maybe I could change that, and then I make my changes. And yeah, so if anything on your drawing doesn't look good, guys, go ahead and just make those changes. Maybe your ears, you know, they're not the same thickness or whatever. The flames, maybe you like it, you know, and yours, it might look a little bit better, different. I don't know, maybe the toes, you know, they're not the same size, or you don't like where you place the hand. Now's the time to change it before you go any further. But I did end up outlining mine in the Copics outliner, and this is where I made a mistake with the outliner, guys. Or actually I didn't, because I used the pen. And on the right eye, guys, if you guys see it, when I started it looked good, but I don't know, I guess I left the marker a little bit more on the right eye, on the pupil, and it started to bleed out, and it made it look like this like really weird shape. And it messed it up, guys, but it's an easy fix. I could always go back and use like a white gel pen and just, you know, fix up the eye. But yeah, so I use my Copic color markers, guys, and my Prisma Premier markers, and I just laid down the basic colors. So I believe I used the Prisma Premier red marker on, I don't know which red it was, but I used it on the actual color for him. And then I used my Copic marker for the body, and he's more of a yellow, but I had more of a closer to like a sand color, you know, like a skin tone, a light skin tone. So I just used whatever I had, you know, the closest colors that I had for them. And then for the shadows right there on the collar, I used a light gray, like a gold for the inner ear. And yeah, then once I did that, guys, I used my color markers, or not my color markers, but my color pencils, just to go over the drawing and just add a little bit more of shading, you know what I mean. On the red, I used like a darker red color pencil just to go over it and add some of the shading. And then I used a black at the end to go over it. And something that I made a mistake on, guys, was that the bottom right there, at the bottom of Simisear, more towards like the belly button, like part of the leg, right there, you guys are gonna see like a bunch of lines. And so when I was using my eraser to erase, because I have one of those automatic erasers where you press a button and it shakes or whatever, I didn't realize that I ran out of eraser, guys, and the metal part was sticking out. So I'm surprised it didn't tear the actual drawing, the actual paper, but you're gonna see like a bunch of scratches right there. So when I went over it with the color pencil, it wasn't like a nice, you know, it didn't look good. But yeah, so I did go over it with the color pencils, like I mentioned before. I like using the black, and I think it looks pretty good, guys. And then I just used a white gel pen just to go over like some little highlights here and there. And yeah, so overall, guys, I'm pretty happy with this. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, how yours turned out. And don't forget to also check out my other tutorials. So if you guys have a question, make sure to leave a comment. I'll be happy to reply when I can. And yeah, guys, I guess that's gonna be the end of the tutorial. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more videos. And I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.